We want to do a frequently asked question. We've already covered the Washington Press, and now we want to cover the Chandler Price Gordon style jobbing press. Chandler Price was located in Cleveland, Ohio. Over the lifetime of Chandler Price business, they produced about 40,000, a lot of printing presses, of this style of printing press. They did make them in a range of sizes. Initially they were foot treadled, and you might see that in some of the other videos. But eventually they were adapted to electricity. The motor drive spindle could bear directly on the flywheel, or it might have been a belt over the flywheel. They also extended the drive shaft, which runs across the press, and there was a drive wheel on this side. A lot of different configurations. They were made from what they called a tabletop model, which was a 6.5 by 10, and that press itself weighed about 200 some pounds, so I guess it was considered sort of portable. Then they went through various sizes. The smallest they made, and for some reason that was not really a popular press, was the 7 by 11. That refers to the dimension here, which is, it was 7 inches across by 11. And that's the maximum area that it could print. Then there was an 8 by 12, which was very popular. The 10 by 15, which was what this one is, was an extremely popular press. Then they went on up to as large as I think it's 18.5 by 22 or 25, which was really too big to treadle, so they had to wait for the powered presses to come along. Like I say, the Gordon style press, which this is very popular. It's still a popular press, even today, with a kind of a resurgence in letterpress printing. But this was a definite workhorse. Some of the features that this press has is what we call an impression throw-off lever, and by moving it, you can either tell the press that it's going to print something or not print something. Like if you have a misfeed, you can cycle the press. It won't print on here or on a sheet that's out of alignment. Also, it has a Reddington counter, which was very popular on these. That's to let the operator know how many he's printed. You don't want to print too many, more than you were ordered to do, or too few. This has a fountain up at the very top. If you were doing very long press runs, each time you print, you do deposit a very small quantity of ink on the paper. It's surprising just how little ink that it goes through, but in a very long run it can go through enough ink that you actually would need to keep replenishing it, and that's where the fountain comes in. The chase sits vertically instead of horizontally, as it does with the Washington Press, and the rollers are built in, so they would automatically do the inking for the operator. All the operator had to do was keep the press running and feed paper from the upper feed table onto the platen, print it, pull that sheet off, put the next sheet on, and you just developed a rhythm that you could maintain. Once this press is at speed running, it's very easy to maintain that speed. It's very easy to control exactly what you're doing. It takes a little training. It is a press that you can't lose concentration on, because that's when bad things could happen.